I'm Megan Fox reporting for Storytime Digital Media in Tinley Park.
For weeks, the citizens of Tinley Park have been protesting, showing up in record numbers at board meetings, and demanding an independent investigation to find out if village employee Amy Connolly was allowed to change the legacy code by text amendment without proper review. Surprisingly, 7 out of 9 planning commissioners already resigned before any investigation had been done. At the packed March 1st board meeting, Mayor David Seaman cast the tiebreaker vote to hire Cadillac law firm Winston & Strawn for a steep $1,400 an hour, despite the public outcry that they should use the Cook County Sheriff's Office for free.
I'll second. Village staff was previously directed to identify a council for an internal investigation into the approval process for construction of the proposed reserve development at 183rd and Oak Park Avenue. In connection with that request, Winston & Strawn LLP will be asked to conduct an investigation so that they can develop the factual information necessary to render legal advice to the board. Are there any questions, comments?
I'd like to leave it at this matter. The public asked for an independent investigation. I expected to have numerous options to choose from. I suggested options. For all intents and purposes, one firm was all that we were given. The sheriffs, we were told, were not interested. Today, I called the Investigator General of the Cook County Sheriff's Department and was told that they would do it if the board firm that's going to be voted on today will be very expensive. I've asked several questions about the engagement agreement that they want us to enter into because it looks as though it may represent the mayor and the individual board members when really what we want is an independent investigation. I can't tell from the agreement who, if anybody, they'll be giving information to because it's at their discretion. I can't tell who will be directing the investigation. And I can't tell what limit there is on cost or what the scope of work is. Without having that information, I cannot sign this agreement. I've been trying to get it for quite some time. I will not. Therefore, I ask that this board not vote to hire this firm until we have real options, including
I'd like our village council, who is not associated at all with this engagement, nor would have anything to do with it, to opine on the types of legal work that we are seeking here and what the elements of protection to this village are being requested versus the criminal side to it, which is the forte of the sheriff's office.
Okay, I don't know that there's any criminal side to anything, but the point of Winston & Strawn would be to represent the village and the village board to do an investigation of the facts of what happened with respect to the approval, or it hasn't been approved yet, but the process for this development.
Just to be clear, I'm not suggesting that any criminality has taken place. The fact of the matter is, I don't know what happened. But I do know that these people said that they would do it. I didn't get that option. In fact, I was told that option didn't exist. I think they should have an opportunity to present to the board what they can do. from what I understand from talking to them today, 99% of the time they're not acting criminal. What they do is they investigate, they make recommendations, and then the board can act on it as they please. Basically what they'll be doing is we're going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for it, and basically get the same result. Only this way, we know that nobody's going to be, the message will get to everyone.
May I speak from the floor?
Let us get other board members if there's any further comment from the board. I mean, I'll make a quick comment, and I'm not trying to be popular here or unpopular, but I'm going to make a comment. I think the services that the sheriff's office would present are very different than the kind of legal services we're requesting from Winston and Strong. I don't think you can compare the two. It's not because one is any better or worse or anything else than the other. It's just that I believe it's a different type of service that will be provided. One that I don't believe the sheriff's office is equipped to provide. That's just one.
After weeks of asking the board to hire investigators and get to the bottom of the Buckeye Foundation's greased road into their community, this crowd was not pleased to hear that instead of investigators, they were getting big money attorneys instead.
And we pay our taxes, and we have all kinds of arms to all different, the sheriff's office, the attorney general's office, whatever. If there's something to investigate, we already paid for it, and I don't think that it's a good idea to go and, you said hundreds of thousands? I think that that would be kind of unrealistic from a citizen's point of view.
Earlier you stated that Winston and Strong would be representing the village. If they're representing the village, how can they investigate the village? Is that not a conflict of interest?
Rather than just bring the sheriff in for a one-time deal, I think the board is well aware of the fact that you can pass an ordinance to have the attorney or have the sheriff's office made the inspector general for the village of Tinley Park. So if a situation like this ever comes up again, we're not in here harping and harping and harping for weeks and weeks and meetings. All you gentlemen have to do is say, you call up the sheriff. Talking about saving money, this is where you might get a little mad at me. I volunteered to be your inspector general, but you made it very clear that I can't volunteer in this town, so I'm going to ask you to pass an ordinance and appoint the sheriff from now until eternity down the road to solve these problems in the future.
I have a real problem with you guys being the ones who decide what your legal defense is. We should have a safe zone in this. Are you going to appoint the sheriff, and when? When are we going to know anything? I mean, because you're saying you've decided on Winston.
Yes.
What about, when are we going to know about the sheriff?
We'll make some calls tomorrow.
So we'll know tomorrow?
When can we call you tomorrow to find
As
out?
soon as we know. Well, as soon as we know.
How so? How can you tell us?
Okay. And Trustee Vandenberg, I just have one question. At one of the last meetings, you said that you were looking into the 2,500 emails. What's the status of that? Are you able to comment on that at all?
Pretty sure I made my status on that when I made my comments.
But as far as supporting us and stopping Buckeye?
Well, the documentation, as the mayor has discussed this evening, will be turned over to the investigation, whether it be Winston or the sheriff.
Okay.
They can review those documents as well. What was discussed, I will tell you, was that the investigator, to keep it as independent as possible, will research their own information and find their own documents. They're not going to hand over what I've already considered to be biased. So, does that answer your question?
Okay, yes, thank you.
Very well.
But the mayor's plans for a fancy law firm were foiled when just 48 hours after voting to retain Winston and Strawn, the prestigious law firm backed out of the investigation, citing concerns after an internal review. After being notified of the loss, the mayor called on the Cook County Sheriff's Department, who will take over the investigation from this point on.
The citizens of Tinley Park have become real-life citizen sleuths, doing the job that the news networks used to do and keeping people informed about what's happening in their government. It is a remarkable feat, and we hope that it spreads to the rest of Illinois to root out government corruption wherever it resides in this most corrupt state in the Union. I'm Megan Fox, reporting from Tinley Park for Storytime Digital Media.